Alright, this is gonna look weird then.
That might help.
Question now. Please, I don't mind. Hi, I'm Samuel Finn. I'm a member of Youth Parliament of Doncaster.
And I'm Owen Dunworth, a Doncaster Youth Councillor representing Doncaster East.
Lovely to meet you both. I'm Simon Azay. I'm a Public Health Improvement Coordinator at Doncaster Council.
What is the best piece of advice you have ever been given?
I think it's probably not to compare yourself to others.
So you're the Public Health Improvement Coordinator. What does that job entail?
So my work focuses on young people's health and wellbeing and how we can support them to stay healthy and well.
Can you tell us a little bit about the different types of drugs there are?
A drug is any chemical that you can put into your body that changes the way that you feel or how your body acts. But when we talk about sort of drugs and people use the word drugs, they usually mean things that are either illegal or unsafe. And there's different ways to group them. So it might be how their chemical structure is, it might be the effect that they have on the body, or it might be their legal status as well.
Why do you think young people experiment with recreational drugs?
So it could be because they're a bit curious and wanting to push the boundaries and be a bit rebellious. It might also just be because they're sort of in certain situations where they're socialising and they feel like they've got to take part to sort of fit in. So it might be peer pressure, they might be going through something that's quite difficult and using drugs to try and escape that situation or cope a little bit.
What effect can using drugs have on a young person?
The effects will vary depending on the person, what they use, what sort of their health and state of mind is like. But it can affect all sort of aspects of your life as well. So it could be physical health, and that can be in the short term as well as long term if you use drugs for a long time. It could be on mental health as well as sort of other social things like relationships, friendships, and also have sort of impact on money as well and how you pay for those drugs.
What support is available for young people involved in drug use?
In Doncaster, there's lots of great support available. You can either speak to the school nurses if you're just generally worried, or you can also get in touch with Project 3, which is our special young person service all about health and wellbeing.
Young people have expressed a worry around drug use in our recent survey. Do you think that drug use amongst young people is an issue in Doncaster?
I think a lot of people do worry about drugs, and that can be because of things that they see on TV or social media or conversations that they have. But actually we know most young people don't do drugs. So in a recent survey we did of young people in Doncaster, only 5% had actually tried drugs in the last year, so we know it's actually a very small number.
What should a young person do who is worried about drugs?
I think the most important thing is to talk to a trusted adult and know that there is information and support out there. I hope this video has helped to answer some questions or worries that young people might have, and that they know that whatever the situation, there is someone to talk to and there is help.
What should adults like parents, carers or teachers know about drugs to help young people?
I think the first thing to say is for them to stay calm and not to make assumptions. It can be quite hard to actually know if a young person is using drugs. And whilst there are some warning signs, it could be something else that's going on for that young person. So it's really important that they have a conversation, and it can be a tricky conversation, so it might be useful for them to speak to an expert or look up some information before they actually have that conversation as well.
What support and services are available for young people involved in drug use?
So in Doncaster, the main service to know about is Project 3, which is our young person's health and wellbeing service. That can help with drugs but other areas of health and wellbeing as well. And they offer face-to-face appointments, and they do e-clinics as well if you sort of don't feel what you want to speak to somebody face-to-face straight away. There's also the Aspire service, which is for adults, so it's good for families to know about that. And there's also lots of websites and telephone lines as well if you want to just speak to somebody or look up information. So that's a really useful source of support as well.
And finally, what would you like young people to take away from this interview?
I think the most important thing for young people to know is that there is help and support out there for them to help them make those decisions and know that they can always speak to somebody if they are worried or need any advice.
Okay, Simon, that's the end of our questions. That was some really useful information, and I'm sure it'll help a lot of young people.
So on behalf of myself and the Youth Council, we hope you've enjoyed speaking to us today. We've certainly enjoyed it, and we hope to get to speak to you soon again.
Thank you so much. It's been lovely speaking to you both.